Every time you drive, you're relying on something incredibly complex, without even realizing it. This is how liquid rubber becomes a tire strong enough to carry thousands of pounds at high speed. From sticky latex tapped from trees to layers of steel and engineered materials, the transformation is far more intense than it looks. Today, we're rolling through the complete manufacturing process from plantation to pavement, right here on Stories Behind Everything. Tires fundamentally represent composite structures combining natural rubber, synthetic rubber, steel, fabric, and various chemical compounds into a single functional unit. Modern tire construction involves layering these materials in specific configurations to achieve desired performance characteristics: traction, durability, fuel efficiency, and ride comfort. A typical passenger car tire contains over 200 different raw materials, precisely measured and combined through sophisticated manufacturing processes. Tire production begins with rubber, both natural and synthetic varieties. Natural rubber comes from rubber trees, primarily Hevea brasiliensis, grown in plantations across Southeast Asia, Africa, and South America. Harvesters make diagonal cuts in the tree bark, allowing latex sap to flow into collection cups. This raw latex undergoes processing at plantation facilities where it gets coagulated, pressed into sheets, and dried for shipment to tire factories. Natural rubber provides exceptional elasticity and heat resistance, making it essential for tire performance. Synthetic rubber gets produced through polymerization, chemical processes that link small molecules into long polymer chains with rubber-like properties. The most common synthetic rubbers include styrene butadiene rubber, which offers excellent abrasion resistance, and polybutadiene rubber, which provides superior low-temperature flexibility. Tire manufacturers blend natural and synthetic rubbers in specific ratios, depending on the tire's intended use. High-performance tires might contain more natural rubber for grip, while economy tires might emphasize synthetic rubber for durability. Beyond rubber, tires require reinforcement materials providing structural strength. Steel wire forms the foundation of most tire construction. Mills draw steel through progressively smaller dies to create wire thin enough for tire use, yet strong enough to withstand enormous forces. This steel wire gets twisted into cables that reinforce the tire's bead and belts that stabilize the tread area. Additionally, tire manufacturers incorporate fabric materials, including polyester, nylon, and rayon. These fabrics get woven into cords that form the tire's carcass plies, providing flexibility while maintaining structural integrity. The actual tire building process begins with mixing rubber compounds. Each tire component, tread, sidewall, inner liner, and bead filler, requires a different rubber formulation optimized for its specific function. Massive internal mixers, called Banbury mixers, combine rubber with carbon black, silica, sulfur, oils, and various chemical additives. These ingredients get mixed at high temperatures under tremendous pressure, transforming them into a uniform compound. After mixing, the rubber compounds get processed into specific shapes for tire building. Calendaring machines press rubber between rollers to create thin sheets of precise thickness. Extrusion machines force rubber through shaped dies to create components like tire treads and sidewalls with their final profiles. These components then move to the tire building area, where skilled technicians and automated systems assemble them into complete tires. Tire building occurs on a rotating drum where components get layered in precise sequence. First, the inner liner, an impermeable rubber layer that holds air pressure, gets applied to the drum. Next come the body plies, rubberized fabric layers that form the tire's structural foundation. The bead cores, steel wire bundles coated in rubber, get positioned at each edge. Additional components, including sidewall rubber and reinforcement layers, get added. At this stage, the tire is cylindrical and relatively flat. It doesn't yet have its final toroidal shape. The cylindrical tire assembly then undergoes shaping, where it gets inflated and pressed into a toroidal mold. Simultaneously, the tread and belt package, steel-reinforced rubber layers that stabilize the tread area, get wrapped around the shaped carcass. The assembled green tire now contains all necessary components, but remains uncured. The rubber hasn't yet undergone the chemical transformation that gives it final properties. Vulcanization represents the most critical step in tire manufacturing, where heat and pressure trigger chemical reactions that permanently cross-link rubber molecules. The green tire gets placed in a curing press, essentially a massive waffle iron for tires. The press closes, applying tremendous pressure while injecting steam or hot water to raise the temperature to approximately 150 to 200 degrees Celsius. The inner surface contains a mold with the tire's tread pattern and sidewall markings. As the rubber heats and vulcanizes, it flows into every detail of the mold, creating the familiar tread grooves and sidewall lettering. The curing process requires 12 to 25 minutes, during which sulfur creates permanent crosslinks that transform soft rubber into the elastic, durable material we recognize as tires. After curing, the tire gets removed from the press and undergoes immediate inspection while still hot. Technicians check for surface defects, proper tread molding, and correct dimensions. Once cooled, each tire enters rigorous quality control testing. Uniformity machines spin the tire at high speed while measuring various parameters: radial and lateral force variation, balance, and runout. X-ray inspection systems examine internal structure, verifying proper belt placement and detecting any hidden defects. Modern tire manufacturing has made significant strides in environmental sustainability. The industry has improved energy efficiency, incorporated renewable energy sources, and developed more sustainable materials. Some manufacturers now use silica derived from rice husk ash instead of petroleum-based alternatives. End-of-life tire recycling has also improved dramatically. Old tires get processed into crumb rubber for playgrounds and running tracks, used as fuel in cement kilns, or transformed into various rubber products. Understanding tire manufacturing reveals the sophisticated engineering behind these essential, yet often overlooked components. From rubber plantations and chemical plants through mixing, building, and vulcanization, every stage contributes to creating products that must perform reliably under extraordinary stress. The black rubber circles supporting vehicles worldwide represent the culmination of materials, science, precision manufacturing, and rigorous quality control. Next time you drive, consider the remarkable journey those tires have taken, from tree sap and petroleum to the engineered products keeping you safely connected to the road beneath you. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, share them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories through Stories Behind Everything.